Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Troy Clayton, and this evening we warmly welcome the family of Gunner William Henry Marcombe, whose story will be told by Commander Craig Marcombe from the Royal Australian Navy, who is Gunner William Henry Marcombe's great-nephew. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. We also acknowledge the members of the RSL and Services Clubs Association, RSL Victoria, and RSL Queensland, who are watching this ceremony broadcast across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection by family and visitors to the memorial. If you're able, please stand and join in singing the National Anthem. Thank you. If you're able, please be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn their loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight, we'll read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection.
Today, we remember and pay tribute to Gunner William Henry Marcombe. William Marcombe, known by his family as Will, was born on the 19th of January 1892 in Treharris, a village in the valleys to the north of Cardiff, South Wales. He was the eldest son of William and Fanny Marcombe and was educated at the local school in Treharris. William's father almost certainly worked as a miner in the Welsh coal mines and was a vocal activist for social matters in the valleys. He went on to serve as the secretary of the Treharris Labor Representation Committee and president of the Mid-Rontha Trades and Labour Council. William also went into the mines, working as a labourer. When he was 18 years old, William Marcombe left Wales, arriving in Queensland on board the steamer Oswestry Grange in 1910. He moved around after arriving, spending time in Rockhampton, Bundaberg and Childers, with a longer period in Mackay. Whilst he was away, his father's health declined, and in 1911, the Marcombe family made the decision to join their eldest son in Queensland in the hope that it would help William Sr.'s health recover. They arrived in 1913 and the large family settled at Mount Morgan, where William Jr. resumed work as a miner. William Marcombe enlisted in the Australian Imperial Force in September 1915, around the same time as his younger brother Walter. They followed in the footsteps of their brother Robert, who was serving with the 26th Battalion. William joined the artillery and began an extended period of training in Australia. In November 1916, 2 months after William joined the AIF, his father died in Mount Morgan. Less than 3 weeks later, Private Robert Marcombe was evacuated from Gallipoli Peninsula with pneumonia and died en route to hospital in Malta. With the loss of her husband and one of her sons, Fanny Marcombe withdrew her permission for 18-year-old Walter to serve in the military, and he agreed to be sent home. William Marcombe would be the only brother to continue to serve, sending a stipend home to his widowed mother. Gunner William Marcombe left Australia for active service overseas in May 1916 with the 9th Field Artillery Brigade. He was first sent to England, where he continued training on Salisbury Plains for several months. In late December 1916, he was hospitalised for several months, only being released back to his brigade in March 1917. Later that year, he was transferred to the 12th Field Artillery Brigade, finally reaching his unit on the battlefields of Belgium in June of 1917. Gunner Marcombe reached the battlefield days after the Battle of Messines, saw some success in the Allied campaigns around the Ypres salient. Later in the year, the Australians would see further limited success during the Third Battle of Ypres, a campaign more normally recognised for its high casualty rate and horrifying mud-soaked trenches. Marcombe would leave his brigade twice, once for leave and once for a further period of hospitalisation before fighting resumed in earnest in the winter of 1718. He rejoined his brigade in mid-April of 1918. 2 months later, the brigade was in the field near the French town of Strasilla, near the Belgian border, spending several weeks firing at specific German positions and also simply dropping shells wherever they thought they would disrupt German activity. On the 23rd of June, 103 years ago today, the 12th Field Artillery Brigade took part in an operation against the Germans opposite, firing in support of an infantry attack. During the operation, Gunner Marcombe was a member of a small party made up of 6 telephonists under the leadership of Lieutenant Frank Mountjoy. They went forward under fire in order to provide observation reports back to their brigade. They had just reached their forward post when a German shell scored a direct hit amongst the party, killing Gunner William Marcombe and 5 others instantly, and wounding one, only Mountjoy, blown high into the air and landing unwounded but shaky, was left to report their fate. Gunner William Marcombe's body was later recovered from the battlefield and laid to rest in the nearby Meterin military cemetery. He was 26 years old. In 1922, on the 4th anniversary of Will Marcombe's death, his mother and siblings put a notice in the newspaper in memory of their son and brother. It read, "Some may think we have forgotten, when at times they see us smile, but they cannot see the heartache that the smile hides all the while." Will Marcombe's name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my right, amongst almost 62,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. His photograph is displayed today beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Gunner William Henry Marcombe, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall not grow old as we that remain grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
We'll remember them.
lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Poziere or in the low scrubber Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post-ceremony. We'd like to thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial and wish you all a very good evening. Thank you.